Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can. Thanks.
Okay. Let me see if I can set up my. Currently, so you can see my screen, right? My PowerPoint.
Yes.
Okay, good. Good morning, everyone. I'm so glad that I'm following Sam's presentation since he set up the foundation for me. And so today I'm going to present to you RITIS, the platform itself. I kind of try to tailor to this group. So hopefully I can hit a lot of the areas that you're interested in. I'm going to start with some slides, and then I will do a live RITIS demo. And hopefully, you know, we can answer some questions at the end that you may have. So if you don't know what RITIS is, it stands for Regional Integrated Transportation Information System. This is a platform developed by the University of Maryland CAT Lab. And this shows you a graphic of what the Oregon subscription to RITIS entails. There's probably about 10 or more states that are subscribers to RITIS, and each state basically in our contract tells RITIS what data sources we want them to ingest, archive, and have the analytics for us. And that's the middle part here. And on the left side are the data sources that ODOT provide to the CAT lab. And the major data source is the probe speed data, the INRIX data that we purchase so that it could be ingested. We also have a lot of the roadway detector data through our ITS program. We have incident data, we have CCTV inventory, we got national weather data, we got work zone data, and we also have the crowdsourced Waze events. And then on the other side of this graphic is, you know, we made this big investment and we want to make sure that everybody that is in Oregon that are in the transportation sector are utilizing this for their work, and so that we can make data-driven decisions. This supports real-time data. It supports system monitoring, measure operational performance, evaluate safety mobility, and also it helps us with our investment prioritization. Who can access RITIS? It's a very generous subscription in which everybody who works for a public agency within Oregon and Clark County, Washington can have access to it. If you have you register with a government email account, the process is pretty prompt. You get approval within an hour or two. If you are consultants and universities working on a public agency contract, you also can get access. Those actually follow like a two-step process in which they confirm back with me to make sure that this person should be given the access, and that usually gets approved within a day as well. I'm just listing at a high level some of the recent RITIS use cases. During the pandemic, we were reporting traffic data to Oregon Health Authority. I don't know if you remember that we had the stay-home orders and people were wondering, well, the health authority were wondering if people were complying and how does traffic look, and that along with other stats data allow them to make the decision on how long that order would stay in place. And when we were producing that report every week, we had a second use, which we were providing it to ODOT staff. And on the operations level, they were able to use that data to see that there were a lot less congestion. And so therefore, our construction office were allowed to have longer hours to work. And that really helped that sort of the economy in that sector from being disrupted. And then Region 1 produces the traffic performance report. This highlights a lot of the problem areas for them so that they can focus on improvements. We do a lot of, we use this for before and after analysis, for work zone traffic monitoring. I did this for a safety corridor traffic evaluation in which we were looking at excessive speeds. And of course, for your interest today, you can use this for traffic model calibrations. I'm listing here all the resources that we have that could help a new user get started, or even a veteran user. This is great reference. We have our RITIS web link, which is the University of Maryland. And then we have an ODOT RITIS website as well. We produce the RITIS Best Practices Handbook, and I will use some of that in my live demo today. And we have quarterly user group meetings in which we highlight the recent use cases and any news or enhancement on the platform. And we also provide annual RITIS training in the fall. We just completed that. And you can contact me anytime with questions or any requests, and I would love to help you. So right now I'm gonna jump into our live RITIS demo. Let me try to, okay. So you can see my change to the website now.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, great. So this is the Oregon RITIS website, which has an overview of what it is. It also has this link for you to sign up. Anybody within your you or your organization wants to sign up. There is no limit on the number of users that can sign up. Right now, I think we have roughly 330 users or register users. And again, there's no limit. We have case studies, we have training materials, and on here, like I said, we have the RITIS handbook. We have this performance matrix in which I will show you in a little bit how we use that. But these are all resources to help you as you navigate the platform. So now I'm going to jump into what RITIS looks like. It's pretty vast. And for today, I'm probably going to present to you the tip of the iceberg. This is the Probe Data Analytics Suite. This is where the majority of users end up. It has these different tools underneath them, and each produce a certain type of display or graphics to help you with your work. So the first one that I am going to do help you walk through is the trend map. So this one, and when I do this, I'm gonna help you just to kind of show you the navigation. You select your roadway. Earlier, Sam talked about XD and TMC. These are the two options for you. XD is a finer network. There's more roads within the XD network, and the segments are smaller or shorter in length. And so a lot of times I use the XD, but there are circumstances in which you don't need to use XD and you want to go with TMC, like Sam explained earlier. Roadway selection, basically, you can type in a roadway, like I-405, and it'll populate up the facility for you. And you can select whether you want just the northbound direction or southbound direction. And if I want to do southbound, I can do the entire roadway, or I can do partial and just select a piece of it for my route. And so that's one way of selection. Another is to do your route selection. So this one, you can start with just a roadway here, selecting here, and then I'm going to do something interesting. I will select my second roadway as maybe up here. I'm going to exit the freeway, and my second one is here. So it'll calculate my route, and then I select that route as my, so this time it allows me to select a few routes. So then you can see the route selection here. And then you select your dates. You can select one single day, multiple days, and then you just add them on top of each other, or you can go by months, a range of months, years, and then you can deselect certain days so that you can have just weekdays or just weekends, and then you add them to your date ranges, and then you select the data, and then the granularity is the averaging of that data. And so you can, for XD, it comes in 1 minute as its fine lowest form of granularity, but you can round it up to or calculate it up to averaging to any of these other, and then you push submit. I did something already for you. I picked all of, oh, let me go back here and do something. For this upper one, so we selected route. We can select a region as well. So within region, I can go to Oregon, and I can select, these are all the counties. So I can select a particular county, or I can select everything in Oregon, all the roadway network in Oregon, and I can select the different classes too. So if I don't want the interstate, I can pick everything else and leave out the interstate. Or in this case, what I did was I picked all of Oregon, and I didn't pick the lowest class road. Those are more of the collectors that may not end up in your model. And so what I ended up by choosing all, and then I chose all of 2022, just weekdays, and what the calculated result looks like is in here. This is for all of Oregon, and the display, I can display any of these performance metrics, from speed, travel time, buffer index, planning time index, all these ones. And I'm just going to show you travel time index for now. And so let's just zoom into an area. And this is at midnight. And so basically I play this, animation, and it goes from throughout the day. And I will pause at maybe 8 a.m. to see what, this is what the AM peak looks like, where you can see unreliability, congested on your system. And then you can go down the PM peak, the midday, and then run through to the PM peak and see the results. So this is for 5 p.m. and you can see that it's the worst time in the day. with any of these, you can change how you want the display. If you don't, for this one, you can jump to another tool without having to do the query over. You just pick this and then jump to another tool. Then you can save this animation. This data can be saved in an Excel format, or it could be in any of these animated format, so that you can send it to someone and have them, sometimes you can embed it onto a website or a newsletter if you like. So that is the trend map. This is the congested scan I want to show you. It's I did a selection of let's see, of Sunset Highway eastbound, and this is so if you're doing a calibration for a particular route, you can you can look at where your congestion is located. This on top is the time of day, and then this is the distance along that corridor. Starting on the bottom is Chute and Helvetia interchange, going up to 217, and then heading into downtown Portland. The zoo area is, and tunnel is right here, which is where the most congestion takes place, and you can see it's most of the day. And so from a modeling standpoint, you can use this to calibrate your model. And this is another one that you can jump into another graphic and display and be able to, so this one might take a little while to jump into. So I'm gonna move on to the next one and we'll come back. But basically, it jumped into this other chart, and what you were seeing is speed, but we can, you know, these other charts will allow you to see it in travel time, which and other performance measures, which is what Sam was talking about earlier, wanting to calibrate a certain route with travel time. Another thing I want to show you is going back to this is called the congestion causes of congestion graphs, and here is also starting with the tool. And this one, I don't have a, some of these tools only allows you to use a certain data source. So this one it was only developed for the TMC in rig segments. And then you can pick whichever you know, region you want, or you can pick a roadway. And with this one, I picked Oregon. I believe I started by picking Marion County. And then I picked all of 2022. And then I picked that. I added my the cost for vehicles and passenger vehicles in terms of delay, and then for trucks, these are the numbers that ODOT developed. And I pressed submit, and what resulted was this causes of congestion graphs that tells me for Marion County 2022. Oh, I excluded interstates because I wanted to know what the, I didn't want the interstates to, you know, overwhelm the congestion that's on the local system. A lot of times in Portland, when you pull that data, there's so much congestion on the freeways that it's harder to know what's happening on the local system. So I purposely, for this one, excluded interstates. And so for 2022, for the arterials that are in and collectors that are on the local in that county, and also it has state routes as well. 29% of your congestion are attributed to just the presence of a signal. People come and they are delayed at a signal device. And then we have recurring congestion is 16%. So this is your daily congestion that are recurring on a daily basis. And then note that weather is 6%. And then for holiday, it's about 3.7%. And so that's for Marion County. And so, and then we have these multiple causes are of the pie chart are when there's multiple events happening together. So they are grouped into that. But by looking at Marion County, I looked at Deschutes County, developed the same thing. Their signal delays are attributed to signals are around 29%, so not that big of a difference from Marion County, but I saw that holiday congestion basically is higher. It's at 7%, and that makes sense because this is a recreational area. People love to have vacation homes in Bend, and they love to go there for major holidays to recreate. So it does make sense that doing the travel to and from the holidays that we do see that they experience more of that as a cause. And then this one is for Umatilla County, and this is an area that we were asked to pay attention to because they don't have a lot of roadway connections there. So when there's a winter event or weather event or any kind of natural effect on their system, they don't have alternative routes. So a lot of times they close down the highway and everybody is stuck. And so you can see that they really, for 17% of their congestion is allocated to weather. That's a big value compared to the other ones that you've seen earlier. And then I'm just gonna go to the last one that I pulled. This is this is the metro area, which has the Clackamas, Multnomah County, and Washington counties. Again, we have these different break out of the pie chart allocated to different causes. And at this point, I'm going to try to go back to here and see. So this is that conversion of the congestion scan on I-405 to a more of a graphic form. And again, this, I can pick anything. This is speed, and I can go and I'm going to see if I can change this to travel time if I want to calibrate. And sometimes this is showing the little color shading is the the 95th percentile and 75th percentile. I can remove those if I wanted to and just look at the average. And so this is an example of you can look by time of the day when your travel time goes up and where your system is having issues. And so this is in the AM peak, and you can see that for this particular route, Sunset Highway eastbound, that PM is the worst of the two, and you can see the extent of it. 7 p.m. is when things are starting to get back to perhaps free flowing. And with any of these, again, you can export the either the image or the Excel to do further embedding into other documents. So at this time, I'm going to pause and show you the handbook. because I think that's important for you to, it's a great guidance to help us to, even myself, I developed the handbook, but I still go into it on a weekly basis as I navigate the tools to look up information. You go, if you want to, we don't want data to be a black box here, so we have a section that talks about data, what's all embedded in or ingested into RITIS, and so that you can make your selection appropriately. You can read up on what the difference is between TMC and XD, and so that you can understand and use it appropriately. And so I think, and then each one of these get you back here. You can go into this one that basically is the start of each of the tool that can get you into the how to navigate through the tool. And the next one that I'm going to show you is this one. It's so the tool is very robust, but sometimes you just want to download the data and do your own analysis. Maybe there's you don't agree with the calculation or the methodology that RITIS platform has, because their platform is developed for all the states that are subscribers. Nothing is customized to us other than the data that we ingest. So let's just say you just don't agree with how they calculate a certain reliability metric, and you want to do your own. You can go in here and choose the data sources. You can choose, just like what I did, choose any type of facility or area that includes a group of facilities. You pick your date range, and down here you pick all the specifics, and you might come down here and you might say, okay, this is all the things that you're that you can produce in your download. And I don't understand what historic speed is from reference speed, or what C value is, or confidence score is. Well, that's where our document comes in, is that each of these will walk you through step by step of what selection you would want. And we have recommendations where we know that maybe a new users are debating what to pick. So we have recommendations to guide you through it. And we explain to you what the different, for this selection, the no recording handling checkbox lets you exclude records with no data. This can help decrease the size of the export. Users should leave this box unchecked. So that's an example of how this document can help you navigate the tool. And again, it explains to you all the different data that you can, that you would have question on. So with that, I'm going to go back to this, and I made my selection. I picked my I-405 as my roadway. I made my selection. I go through the whole process, and I push the button, and what I come up with is these two spreadsheets. The first one is basically the XD ID. So these are the segment IDs. And this one is, I selected every minute of data by my granularity is minute. So then every minute it tells me what the speed is for that day. And then the average speed, which is for that typical type of day and time of the day, is about 55. Reference speed is the free flow speed. And then your travel time in seconds, the confidence score, and the C value. These are basically if there's an explanation for both of these. But if there's enough data, then these are in the higher value. So that I think this one is the when the data is enough to of real data, so that there's not supplemental historic data that would make up this number. And then the C value is whether this one represents sort of I think it represents the average, or if this is way off, then there's some anomaly with the data that we need to be aware of. So these are two very important values to understand if you're working with the raw data. And then the other file that comes out when you download the data is this basically almost like a metadata that tells you for this particular segment, how long the segment is, everything about it, the lat long for the beginning and end points. So that's what you would get if you were to download the data. I see that I am at the end of my presentation, so I'm going to stop now. And oh, if you will allow me, I just want to show you one more document that's really important for you. So this is a spreadsheet, and also you find this on our website, that lists all the tools that that we have in the what we call the Probe Data Analytics toolbox. I've only shown you a couple of them today, but if I'm looking for certain performance measures that I want to be as an output, let's say I'm interested in travel time, then I go to here and I know that there are four tools that allow me to retrieve travel time. So then I come back to here and I go back to, on the left side is all the data that support that tool. So some of them have both INRIX XD and TMC, and some of them don't. This one only has TMC. So I know that if I'm only interested in XD, then this would not be the tool that I would choose. I would choose something like this or any of the other ones that fits my criteria. So wanted to demonstrate that as a valuable resource for you. So at this time, I'm going to stop sharing and see if there are any questions.
Thank you, Chi. That's great presentation, and at least very helpful. I have not used RITIS myself, but also I know a student, at least a student of mine, Curie, she's in the presentation. You appreciate your assistant helping her getting access to the RITIS data for her dissertation research. So great. Sam chimed in and shared his experience also, I believe, with RITIS in terms of kind of download. When you do analysis, select a fewer road classes, so the file size will not be kind of overwhelming. And another point is, oh, maybe if, or you can chime in, Sam.
For Sam, is that a question, or is that I'm trying to read? Let's see.
Not a question, but kind of share some tips.
Yes.
Yeah. Another tip is you can also download the shapefile for the XD network separately. So yeah. So kind of for the metadata, not only you can just get those lat long, but also the shapefile for the network.
Yes, and thank you, Sam. I forgot to mention that we do have a location where we keep the shapefiles that we point our users to that, because some of our users want to work with the shapefiles and the metadata and the downloaded data and do their own calculation, and that's really helpful. I know that Josh does that quite a bit. And then I think the first comment was about file size. Is that right? I can't see. Let's see. It's also from Sam.
Right. A question of mine. So far, there is no question in the chat. So for the audience, only feel free feel free to unmute yourself and or raise your hand if you have any question. Question of mine is, how much do you know in terms of the basically reliability or development? Do we have any idea in terms of the validation or validity of the speed, congestion, and to whatever extent that you have any idea in terms of the validation in those data from RITIS system?
You know, we haven't done that. For the last couple of years, it's been getting the contract in place, getting it up and running, and then using it to, you know, promoting it to our users. But it is on our to-do list is to continue to work through some of these tools to two things. One is to pull some sample data and do some validation. The only thing is that we don't have the, like we'd have to do floating cars or something, or we have to, I think we can probably pull some ITS data that are Bluetooth collected and do some of that. I know initially we did just a small sample and it looked good. But now I think it's something that we need to continue and do a more robust job at doing that. And then the second thing we want to do is pull some of these calculations and do our own calculations and compare our calculation using their methodology with their results, just to kind of, you know, I think it's just good practice to do that. And so that's on our list of to-dos.
Question from Carol in the chat. Approximately how many agencies are currently using the Oregon RITIS system, and are there many users at local agencies, for example, city and county level?
We currently have, like I mentioned, about 330 registered users. We find that we get a lot of users from ODOT, of course, and then we do have I think the next highest level of users are our local agencies. And I don't have the specific numbers, but we've been doing a lot of promotion of bringing RITIS out to people so that they know it's available to them and they have access to, that they can access it for their work, because this is a very generous opportunity that everybody within Oregon, all the local agency can do it. I know that even WashDOT doesn't have, they're not subscribers to RITIS yet. And so the fact that this is available, I think people should really take advantage of that. The sector of groups that are not high users of RITIS, in which I would like to change, are the consultants. And I find that you know, they're going to be working on government contracts. And so that's the sector that I really like to get more, you know, engagement with and get them really proficient at this tool.
So you mentioned the consultant will be able to get access to through if they have a current work with a public agent.
Yes. Okay. If they have a contract, they get access. Yes.
Okay, great. Thanks. Okay, thanks, Chi. I don't see any more questions. Certainly appreciate your effort to produce the resources, guidance, and an assistant for pretty much everyone, including the student at PSU, to help utilize the great resource.